Hello and welcome to this final video tutorial for the AP Physics C Skills Review. In this short lesson tutorial, we're going to be reviewing properties of exponents. Remember to pause or rewind the video as needed. So down below, let me write a few of these properties down so we can kind of use them as needed. One property that we learn along the way is that when you have some base written to some exponent times the same base written to some other exponent, well, we end up, in this case, adding the exponent. So it's n plus m. Okay, if we have same base to one power divided by same base to another power, we subtract the exponents n minus m. If we have a base raised to a power, okay, this is product rule, raised to another power, we multiply the two exponents. And finally, the last one you're really going to need for this is if we have any base raised to a negative exponent, we can write that as 1 over that base to a positive exponent. Okay, let's apply these, okay, where they fit. In number 53, it says x squared, then to the fourth power. So think of that as a power to a power. So for that one, we are applying our third property. And we would get x to the 2 times 4, or x to the 8th power. Number 54. We have x to the 3rd plus x to the 6th squared. So that's essentially x squared plus x to the 6th times x, sorry, I said x squared, x cubed plus x to the 6th plus, times x cubed plus x to the 6th. So what we can do here, we can distribute it. There's a bunch of ways that you can do this. You can take each term here and distribute it to each term over here. Okay, that's one thing we could do. Or some teachers have shown it where we make a grid like this. We write x cubed plus x6, x cubed plus x6, and you fill in the chart, okay? That's another way I've seen it done. Either way, we have to be able to expand across this polynomial here, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and distribute through. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write one in blue and one in black just to keep it different colors, okay? So we're gonna go x cubed plus x to the 6 times x cubed plus x to the 6, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute the black to each of the blue. So I'm going to write the blue and I'm going to split it up. So x cubed plus x to the 6th. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute to each of those this term out here in the black. In other words, x cubed plus x to the 6th, and again, x cubed plus x to the 6th. Okay, now let's multiply through and clean it up. So we're going to distribute this and this. So x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd. Okay, now you can realize to do this, we're using our property here where same base, multiplying same base, we add the exponents. So x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd would be x to the 6th, plus x to the 3rd times x to the 6th is x to the 9th, plus, okay, now we're distributing across this. X to the 6th times x to the 3rd is x to the 9th, plus x to the 6th times x to the 6th is x to the 12th. And you'll notice there are some like terms there in the middle. Okay, so if we put this in order of of largest degree of the polynomial means the largest exponent, we would have x to the 12th plus 2x to the 9th plus x to the 6th. Okay, number 55. Pretty straightforward, seeing as how they're both like terms. If you were going negative 2 minus 4, okay, or excuse me, if you're going uh, 2 minus 4, we would get negative 2, okay? Well, if we went 2x minus 4x, we would get negative 2x. Well, this is no different because those are like terms right there. So this becomes negative, so 2x minus 4x, 2x squared minus 4x squared would just simply be negative 2x squared. Literally just subtract them because they are the same term, both having an x squared here. Number 57. We're going to use negative exponent rule. Negative exponent rule says that we take our base, okay, x to the whatever power, we take its reciprocal, its inverse, and when we do, the negative exponent becomes positive. So this is the same thing as x to the negative 7 over 1. So we're going to flip that and go 1 over x to the 7, and when we do, the negative exponent becomes a positive exponent. Now, 57 looks hard, but if you take it in pieces, all right, we can do this. We have to apply the negative 4th power to the 14 and the x squared. So 14, okay, to the negative 4th power, if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get 1 over 38416, okay? And then x times x to the, and if we are multiplying a power to a power, that would be to the negative 8. Okay, all right, now that little part is going to be multiplied times, now we're going to make that 4th power go to the 3 and to the x. Well, 3 to the 4th power is 81 times x to the 4th power. And then in our last section, we're going to take the squared and we're going to apply it to the 13 and the x to the 6th power. Well, 13 squared is 169. X to the 6th power squared would be x to the 6 times 2, or x to the 12th power. Okay, so let's kind of clean this up a little bit. Number 1, I can take this and I can write it as a positive exponent down below. So instead of writing x to the negative 8, I can bring it down here and write it x to the positive 8. So on top, if you look at what I have 81 times 69. So let's start there. 81 times 169, okay, is 13,689, okay? And then I'm multiplying same base, so I'll add those exponents. X to the 16th power over 38,416. Okay, and then on the bottom is x to the 8th power. Now, if you're dividing same base, if you remember here, we subtract the exponents. So we get 13,000. Basically, 8 of these are going to cancel with 8 of these. If you really think about it, it's going to be x times x times x times x times x times x times x. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's x to the 16th power, right? It's 16 x's multiplied times each other. On the bottom, we have x times 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 x. And if you think about it, what you're really doing is you are canceling 8 of these with 8 of these, leaving you with x to the 8th power remaining. Okay, that's kind of how you can think about it. So we have 13,689 x to the 8th power over 38416. Okay, now you could probably try and reduce that if you want, okay, number-wise, but I'm not going to. All right, I hope you found that short video tutorial to be helpful. And thanks for coming, and see you next time.